This is my mini one slide video of fundamentals of search engine optimization and creating content that people will find for blog posts and YouTube, many other things. And it came about because I noticed a pattern in the over 40 crowd, which I'm in, where they kept coming up with clever titles. They created the content and then they come to me and say, but no one's found my YouTube video. No one's found my blog. No one's found my content. And I couldn't figure out what was going on until I remembered an important piece. We grew up with things called magazines. Do you remember magazines?
Sure.
And magazines had a quality. So the opening question is, why do magazines have catchy titles for articles inside the magazine? You open the thing, the table of contents, and then there are catchy little titles in it. What's your shot on that? Why they might want to do that?
To get you to read it.
Right, because they want you then to turn to page 42 where the article is to read it, because then they want you to see something else. And what do you think that something else is?
Just advertisement?
Advertisement, because if you don't see the ads and you don't call the people or do it, then they don't sell the papers and they go out of business. Right. But it's all based on the assumption you're standing in front of or holding the magazine, or you're at a rack of magazines. That's the assumption. So then the over 40 crowd that grew up with magazines goes to the internet and they go, oh, I need to get titles like a magazine. Now, the next question I ask is, why do you think catchy titles is a bad idea for web content to be found?
I think it's not a bad idea.
Okay, got it. So you think it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So I'm challenging the reason it's a bad idea, because people aren't standing in front of a rack of magazines when they're looking to learn something or get something. They're sitting.
They're looking at a search engine.
They're right. They're at a search engine. And when you're a search engine, you don't type in a catchy title. You type in a question or something you're looking for or something you want in information.
That's a good point.
Okay. So I loved your answer. It was great. Why not? No, this is the way we've all been going to the web. But what would occur is people would then make their YouTube video with a catchy title. Now, when you got 10,000 plus followers, you can have that grace and do it. But when you're beginning and you're starting to get content, we need to get people who are looking for something. Your video or article's the answer. It gives them value, and then they go the next desirable place you want, like to read another article or something else.
So what you want is a keyword with a catchy title.
You could do a keyword with a catchy title, or you could just have how to be a better person, or how can I be a better brother, or how can I find out why my toilet makes weird noises when it flushes, or something. You see, you want to create your article and then back up. And instead of look for the catchy title when you're beginning, now I don't mind weaving all this in the future, but it's getting this fundamental to build up followers. You want to ask, what might people be typing into Google or saying into their phone, or what question they might ask, where coming to this, they'd be satisfied.
And how do you find that out, Martin?
Well, there are a number of ways, but the beginning is start to understand your customer, start to understand, talk to them, find out what their questions are, collect data they ask when they first interact with you. Listen to the people that you want to hire you, pay you, engage with you, and work with them at an organic level, and listen to the language they use. It's the whole thing is, people search more for used cars than they do pre-owned cars. So if you're selling discount used cars and you want to look fancy, then you might call them pre-owned cars, but your customer's calling you a used car. So own it and make more money. So this is the fundamental major mistake I'll see in small businesses, where they really want to get more customers. They want to get going and get more traction, but they aren't putting the right bait out. Now, don't mislead, give value. And then you ask, where do you want them to go next? So you're a blog writer, you would want to have a blog. You want your writers to be thinking, maybe that catchy title's a subtitle after they see the article. We might want, how about a question? Because people love questions. I made a video recently on how to turn off my iPhone 12 and not call the police. There's an annoying thing with these things where on, like, my phone, when you hold it down to turn it off, if you hold it too long, it calls 911.
No.
Yeah, honest to gosh, it's like Apple did it. Well, you can't turn that feature off. So I finally stayed on the phone with support forever and found there's a way to press one button, another button, and then hold down a button, and then it will bring up the way to slide it and turn it off without auto calling the police. Okay, so do you see, that would be, if I was in the phone business, how do I turn off my iPhone 11 without calling 911 would be an excellent video. I made the video just to test it out, and I've about 1,300 views. Now, if I was in the phone business, that'd be excellent content. I might say, stop by the store. Our techs will show you more tips on how to use your phone. You see, that's how we bring them in, little legs of this.
So what title did you use?
How to turn off my iPhone 12 without calling 911.
Literally, use that as the title.
You see, and people constantly overthink this. Keep it simple. So the way I'll tell a writer that wants to make a statement or create some content, but wants it read, create your content, then back up and go, if I didn't know this existed, what might I think, if I'm standing in the shoes of my customer, what might I think they type in to find it? And Tom, there's ways with keyword optimization and SEO and answer the public to do this. But I find if we get this in an organic process and you become better at hearing your customer persona, it's more sustainable for a small business than going back and researching it.
I love the idea of just wondering, what is my potential reader thinking?
Yes.
What are they going to type into search engine? And that's a good question. And then go with that to figure out what the best keyword is going to be.
And listen, listen. Tom, that completes this mini lesson on SEO for the fundamentals of someone creating blogs and videos. And I'm going to ask the viewer and you to make sure to click subscribe and the bell so you see future videos. That's the next desirable action I want them to do.
Will do.
Thanks.
Will do. You're welcome.